Hey everyone! So I have a question for you. If you were going on the biggest roller coaster in the world and you were going up, to that highest point just before you're about to come flying down the other side of that roller coaster, if you had the chance, right at the top, that point where you're just so scared, so nervous, screaming at the top of your lungs, if you had the chance to bail at that point, would you? So, I'm guessing if you were on the roller coaster to begin with, you're probably going for the ride. But is there a different roller coaster in your life where perhaps you've been going up there and you're at that pinnacle, you're at that place where you have to either go down and go for that ride or you're debating whether to jump off? The fear is stepping in your way. And if that's the case, perhaps this is the time when you have to go all in. I talk a lot about taking steps, small steps, moving in the direction that you want to go. It's a great strategy for overcoming obstacles, your fears, feeling stuck, is to just take those small steps, and that can work. And sometimes you just got to go all in. And why? Because if you didn't go all in, you wouldn't do it, right? If you didn't go all in, you wouldn't finish that roller coaster ride or whatever that metaphor is in your life. And you wouldn't have that opportunity. I'm actually in that place right now. Except that I've decided I'm going for the ride. But I have been on this pinnacle, I feel like, for a couple of months where I've wanted to do this wisdom quest. And I just got my passport, and so I am going. And it's a situation where I'm going to the Pyrenees in France, and I'm going to be doing all kinds of meditating, learning a little more about human design, something called the Sphinx Code. I'm going to do sweat lodges, and I'm going also to do a 7-day nature solo. So going out in nature by myself in my tent with no food, just water for 7 days. So all of that has been fairly terrifying and exciting all at the same time. But there is no halfway. There is no, let me dip my toe in. Let me just take a couple steps towards that. You kind of do it or you don't. You either have the full experience or you miss out. And sometimes in life, that becomes the decision. You gotta go all in or it's just not going to happen. The second reason is sometimes your safety is actually better if you go all in as opposed to kind of do it. A friend of mine was going mountain biking the other day for the first time, and she was talking about how when she started she was really scared and was going really slowly and really tentative, and she was actually sliding and it was harder. And the people she was with who were experienced mountain bikers were saying it's better if you go all in, if you commit to the turns, if you go for it, as opposed to pulling back. Trying to be safe is actually putting you in a riskier situation. So sometimes, and I see this now as I am watching one of my favorite events, the Olympics, sometimes you can even see it with some of the athletes who you can almost see it in their eyes or in their body language. They're just a little tentative. They're feeling a little doubt or fear, understandably, right? But that's winning. And they tend to make more of the mistakes when they're in that place than when they're committed, convicted, and just going for it. And finally, a reason why you sometimes need to go all in is because it's more likely your goal is going to actually happen. I used to have this discussion / argument with people at times around acting. You know, people would ask, well, don't you need a backup plan? And I was like, well, just saying that insinuates that I'm not going to make it. So then therefore I need a backup plan for when I don't make it. And if I went into every audition having that feeling of, well, I'll go do that when this doesn't work out, it's just not going to work out. It's not the correct headspace to be in. Now, I'm not saying be reckless or be stupid, but there is something to burning the boats, as they say, or to going all in And then if it's not going to work out or you don't like what you're doing, well, then you make a definitive, mindful choice to do something else and go all into that. But doing this half thing is not always the most effective to really accomplishing your goals. So, what can you do when you really want to go all in? Well, the first thing is decide. It is the decision, it is the commitment. And sometimes just writing it out is the most helpful way. Verbally saying it or saying it to somebody else puts it out there in a definitive way. So, whichever works best for you, but make the decision to do it, to commit, to go all in. And second, then focus on the task, on what's in front of you. Because if you focus on whatever it is that you're doing and striving for, the actions that you're taking, then your senses are in high gear. You're much more open to any kind of sensory information that might be coming into you that will inform your intuition, that gut feeling, and you can make more specific and accurate decisions for you. So really being intentional, mindful, and present in the task at hand. And when you stray and you start thinking about the fears or the doubts, stop, move that away, and start to shift your focus back to whatever it is that you're wanting to do. And then the last one, stay open to the openings, because there's often options. That's in the strategy of it, of where is the opening. And if you kind of come from an observer standpoint that's present and intentional, knowing that there is an opening or a strategy that's correct for you, you'll see it. If you're looking for the way out the door, you're not going to see the opening that's right in front of you. So really stay open, ask the questions. What could I do? Where is the opening? What's a possibility? What's there for me? How could I do this differently? Especially if you fall, then just get back up and see what went wrong and how you might be able to shift and reset. And with that, you'll continue down that path, committed, all in, and you'll go for the ride. So I would love to hear from you. Is there an area in your life? Is there a roller coaster where you're maybe climbing up that hill, you're getting to that place where you're wishing there was a bailout car, or you're looking for one, or are you ready to go all in and take that journey? So pop your answers below, or let me know. I would love to hear from you and hear where you are and what strategies you're using to go all in. And if you need any support, of course, I'm here for that as well. So on that, make the impossible possible and go all in.